So when you fill up that little bucket of water, that's when it's most effective because it can contribute over. You cycling on and off creatine doesn't make it more effective. And the reason I say that is if it's going to be a long-term supplement that you're not going to cycle off, there's not really any huge reason to take this 20-gram dose, get to full saturation a little bit more quickly. If you're going to be taking it for months and months and even years and years and years, there's no real reason to just rush this loading phase. Welcome to this presentation about creatine. Today we're going to break down what it really does, why it matters, and how to use it strategically for performance, recovery, and even long-term health. So what's the real story about creatine? Creatine has been researched for decades now. It's not just for bodybuilders, it's one of the most reliable and effective supplements out there, and we're seeing that the data connects it now to even some brain health improvements and longevity as well. Creatine works by increasing phosphocreatine stores in the muscles, and you can think about this like phosphocreatine being like a small bucket off to one side. So you've got your phosphocreatine stores, then you have this really big bucket off to the other side, and you can think of that as your ATP stores for the muscles. So as you're doing hard training and it's too intense for your body to replenish this large bucket of water, it'll drain your ATP stores down to a certain level. And once you get to that certain level of intensity, or you've used up that much ATP in one go and your body can't replenish it fast enough, you'll actually start to draw upon that small bucket of water, which is your phosphocreatine stores, and it'll start to help to replenish the ATP stores on the other side. So you can think about it as like there is a little funnel or a little hose connecting them. And once you drop this level far enough and you've dropped your ATP, you've gone hard enough on that set or whatever that exercise is, that sprint, whatever, it will pull from that little bucket and it'll help to replenish it during that set to get you a little bit more performance while you're there. So it helps to regenerate ATP. And the result of that is more reps, faster recovery between sets, and even some greater training volumes, which helps to contribute to a lot of things like work capacity, hypertrophy, stuff like that. So the benefits for creatine, as we're seeing in some of the research now, it's newer. We don't have quite as much literature to support it, but we do have some newer research supporting that creatine may be protective against some cognitive function, especially under stress, and may help reduce muscle damage after workouts and support mitochondrial health as well. So this could mean better aging outcomes for older individuals because it could help with sarcopenia, which is just the loss of muscle as you age. And then it may also help with protecting some cognitive decline that they would experience as well as they get up into certain age categories. Primarily what I've seen in the research so far is the largest benefits seem to be for people over 60, but it doesn't mean there aren't other marginal benefits for younger age groups as well, especially as I mentioned, if they're under stress or sleep deprived or anything like that. So some people worry about the safety of creatine, but it's one of the most tested supplements on the market. Overall, it's very safe and effective. It's non-hormonal, so there's nothing it's going to do to your hormones. And for somebody with healthy kidneys going into taking creatine, it's a very safe supplement for them to take. If you have any concerns at all, and especially if you have any pre-existing conditions with your kidneys, you definitely should talk to a physician ahead of time. They'll be able to tell you if it's safe for you to take if you have any health maladies or any things you're concerned about. So it's also a huge plus that it's affordable and easy to find. So overall, creatine is just one of these super easy supplements, and there's not many of them out there that have so much research to support it and show that they're extremely effective. So highly recommend giving it some consideration, but finish the presentation and see what you think. Overall, in terms of the best practices for actually using creatine, creatine monohydrate seems to be the most effective one in the research in terms of different strains and blends and variations. There's just nothing to support that another strain. There's no like large body of literature to support that some blend or some other variation is more effective than creatine monohydrate. Now, some of them may mix up easier and they may be easier to take in different forms, but overall, creatine monohydrate is the most proven, most effective version of creatine. The other variations seem to just be upsells. So just take that into consideration when you're making your choice of which one you're actually going to buy and what you're purchasing it for and all that good stuff. So just because it costs more in this case doesn't seem to make it more effective. You can also optionally load. So in terms of like your dosing and stuff, you can optionally load 20 grams a day over a couple of different doses for a week to 2 weeks if you want to get to that full saturation level faster, but it's not required. This is one of those long-term supplements that doesn't really require you to cycle on and off of it. So when you fill up that little bucket of water, that's when it's most effective because it can contribute over. You cycling on and off creatine doesn't make it more effective. And the reason I say that is if it's going to be a long-term supplement that you're not going to cycle off, there's not really any huge reason to take this 20-gram dose, get to full saturation a little bit more quickly. If you're going to be taking it for months and months and even years and years and years, there's no real reason to just rush this loading phase. It may get you there to that full saturation a little bit quicker, but if you're going to take it for such a long period of time, definitely not necessary. You can just take your 3 to 5 gram maintenance dose, get you to that period where you're saturated, and then you're good to go, and you can just stay there. So nothing wrong with the loading phase, but if you have any GI distress, taking smaller doses than when you take 20 grams or multiple small doses in a day, you're definitely going to feel some GI distress. So keep that in mind when you're starting to take it as well. And then in terms of timing, it doesn't matter a ton, but post-workout with food might be a little better. The biggest recommendations I can give with timing in terms of taking creatine is just try and find a timing that makes it, if it does give you any GI distress, that makes it so that it doesn't. So try and take it fasted in the morning, or try and take it with food during the day. Try and take it before bed, try and take it midday, whatever. Find what time of day makes it easiest on your stomach if you do get a little distress with it. If you don't get any distress with it, the best thing I can say about timing is just try to take it consistently. So if you have a shake that you put it in, or if you take it at a certain time of day with some other behavior, if it's the first thing in the morning, you take it before your coffee or whatever, just try and keep it consistent, because it's one of those things where when it fills up that little bucket of water and it's fully saturated, it's more about consistency and keeping it consistent over time that you're taking it, rather than taking it optimally. It doesn't, boost hypertrophy outcomes. It doesn't help you build muscle or become super smart because you took it with food or without food or whatever. It just seems like it's more important just to get it in every day. So that's more of a habit and behavior thing that you just have to figure out what habit you want to stack it with. And then what you're actually going to notice when you start to take creatine. So you're going to see some noticeable improvements, more than likely, in recovery and work capacity in the gym, or with whatever training that you're doing. And then and you'll see that within a couple of weeks. The brain event benefits are going to be more subtle, but they can be felt during high stress or even sleep deprivation. If you work an overnight job or something like that and you're very sleep deprived, you may notice it a little bit more. But you're going to see it more in older age groups that are going to notice the cognitive improvements and the benefits from it. Younger age groups probably aren't going to notice as much of it. And if they do, it may even just be some placebo effect, which is still real, but they may not notice near as much of the cognitive benefits. And even the benefits in the gym in terms of work capacity, recovery, pushing harder in your hard sets, all that kind of stuff. It's not massive. You're not going to double your performance in the gym, but if you take it over weeks and weeks and weeks, you may notice that you're consistently making a little bit more progress, or that you have a little bit more oomph at the end of your sets to get a little bit more out of it. So just take that into consideration. It's not anabolic steroids. It's not this magical thing. You're not crushing a 400 milligram of caffeine pre-workout. It's just this consistent supplement that's shown to help give you a little bit more performance at the end of these hard sets, whatever you're doing, whether it's, sprints, reps in the gym, rolling for BJJ, whatever it may be. Times that creatine may not apply. Creatine isn't necessarily for everyone. Some people it may not benefit are people who already eat a ton of red meat. So if you do the carnivore diet and you eat a lot of red meat, you may already have a lot of creatine stores. Your phosphocreatine bucket may already be fully saturated because red meat has some creatine in it. It's not a ton, but if you eat it for 4 meals a day or whatever, it's the primary thing in your diet, you may actually have full saturation or pretty close. So you may just benefit from a smaller dose to kind of top that bucket off, or you may not benefit at all. So it's still worth trying it out and just seeing if you notice any benefits if you eat a lot of red meat. And then people with kidney disease or any health maladies, this could affect. Definitely worth talking to your physician. Definitely recommend talking to your physician before you go take it, but that's few and far between. It's definitely better to be safe than sorry, but it's not hard on your kidneys or anything like that. It's a very safe supplement. It's just if you already come in with a pre-existing condition or anything wrong with your kidneys in general, just definitely worth talking to a physician ahead of time. And then if you're not training hard, so if you're not draining that big bucket of ATP down to a certain level, or if you're doing super, super, super long duration training where you can actually replenish your ATP as you go, like training for marathons or whatever, doesn't mean you won't benefit for creatine, but you may not benefit as much because creatine during that ATP depletion, the idea is that it's high enough intensity, like, a set of 20 in the gym or a 400-meter sprint or whatever. It's high enough intensity that you're depleting it at such a rate that your body can't actually replenish the ATP quick enough. So it does have to draw upon that small bucket. You may not see it help quite as much in super long duration activities as well, or especially low intensity where you're just not lowering that amount far enough. So, final takeaways, if you're training hard and you care about your performance and long term brain health, creatine is likely worth it. The brain health thing is still more speculative. It's not super proven out in the research yet, but it does seem promising. So, it's not an essential supplement for you to take. But if you're training hard and you're already taking all these other supplements and you're investing time and energy into your health and performance, it's more of a why not. It's one of these few supplements that seem to be very proven in the research, very well supported, very safe for your health. You don't have to cycle off and on it. You don't have to worry about long-term health conditions coming from it. So it's one of these things. It's more of a why not. It's cost effective and affordable. So it's just a low risk, high reward thing for you to throw into your routine, for you to supplement with if you're training hard and you fit the criteria that we discussed above. So research is getting a little bit stronger with the neurocognitive benefits, the ability for your brain to perform well, perform a little bit better under sleep deprivation, and then even all the benefits for people who are aging. So take that into consideration, see what buckets or what categories you fall into. And if you feel, from what I described, if you're one of those people that are performing hard, pushing your body hard in the gym or whatever sport that you're doing, or if you're aging and you feel like you're wanting to make sure you're, checking all your boxes for your brain health, and if you're training in the gym to try and retain muscle mass, it could be an amazing supplement for that as well. So I consider it more of a why not supplement, unless you're somebody who has any health conditions that, that could conflict with it or that would make you a little bit nervous about it. And that's why you have physicians to talk to. So talk to a physician and then you may still be able to take it as well. So those are my recommendations on taking creatine. I'm not a doctor. I'm not prescribing you to take creatine. That's just the reasons that I would take it. And those are the reasons I would recommend for a client to take it as well. Thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe for future content like this, and drop me a comment if there's any topics you want to see me cover going forward as it pertains to training, nutrition, longevity, or just anything interesting you want to see me deep dive on.